You feel it, don't you? That quiet, almost unbearable weight that settles deep in your chest when you look up at the night sky, at the faint smudge of light that is Andromeda, knowing it's there, so close in cosmic terms, yet eternally out of your reach. You're not alone in that feeling. There's a part of you that longs for connection, for exploration, for the impossible, and yet the universe whispers a truth that is as humbling as it is relentless. Some things are simply beyond reach, and in this realization, there is both sorrow and profound clarity. Think about what it means to confront limits, to know, without doubt, that even with all of your ingenuity, all of your ambition, some distances, both cosmic and personal, cannot be bridged. Andromeda, our nearest galactic neighbor, is racing toward us at hundreds of kilometers per second. In about 4 billion years, it will collide with the Milky Way in a cosmic dance that will reshape our skies. But even then, for you, here and now, it remains forever beyond touch, beyond experience. And there's a psychological truth in that, a reflection of how human desire works. You are wired to yearn, to imagine, to chase, and sometimes to ache. This isn't about space travel or physics alone. It's about how we navigate impossibility in our own lives. You see, when we face something unreachable, an aspiration, a relationship, a dream, we often confront the hidden architectures of our minds. The yearning itself can be intoxicating. It triggers a cascade of emotions: awe, envy, longing, frustration. And yet, in that frustration, there is also growth, because the universe, in its silent impartiality, teaches you about limits. It teaches you patience. It teaches humility. It teaches that some things are meant to be observed, not possessed. Richard Feynman once marveled at this very tension, the interplay between knowledge and wonder. He described the universe not as a collection of unreachable objects, but as a series of mysteries to be explored with imagination and care. And there is a subtle psychological lesson there. You are not diminished by your inability to touch Andromeda. You are instead expanded by the realization that beauty can exist independently of possession, that awe does not demand mastery, and that longing is not failure. Yet, there is a part of you that resists this lesson. You push against limits. You construct fantasies in which barriers crumble, where impossible things become possible. That's natural. Your mind thrives on possibility. But this is also where the psychological mirror becomes uncomfortable. The gap between reality and desire can sometimes warp perception. You begin to overestimate what is achievable, projecting your own needs onto situations and people that cannot and will not meet them. You chase the unreachable, the unavailable, the cosmic Andromeda in human form. And in that pursuit, subtle manipulations creep in, often unnoticed. Think about the ways you've encountered someone or something that seemed almost within grasp, only to slip further away. Maybe it was a person who promised connection but retreated when you drew near. Perhaps it was a goal, a dream, a career milestone that shimmered just out of reach. The psychology is the same. The pull toward Andromeda mirrors the pull toward what you cannot have. It seduces you with glimpses of possibility, using your own hopes and vulnerabilities against you. And when you chase it, when you invest emotion in what is fundamentally unreachable, you feel small, frustrated, insufficient. But the universe, in its unyielding honesty, also offers a different perspective, one that transforms despair into clarity. The journey toward Andromeda, the 44 billion-year journey of light across space, is relentless, predictable, and indifferent to human desire. And yet, in that predictability, there is liberation. You begin to see that longing, when acknowledged without judgment, can be a guide rather than a tormentor. The same is true in your personal life. By observing the patterns of attraction, disappointment, and unfulfilled yearning, you gain insight into your own psyche. You learn which desires serve your growth and which simply tether you to illusions. Consider this. When you stop struggling to possess the unreachable, you free yourself to engage fully with what is present. The galaxy will continue its eternal journey, indifferent, beautiful, untouchable. And you will exist within your own orbit, capable of exploring, feeling, and creating meaning in ways that are entirely yours. There is immense psychological power in this acknowledgement. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means choosing where to focus your energy, choosing which connections to nurture, which dreams to pursue, and which fantasies to release. It is a radical form of self-trust, a declaration that your worth does not hinge on capturing what is unattainable. And let's pause for a moment to consider how this applies to the way you relate to others. Manipulative behaviors often arise in the spaces where desire meets limitation. When someone senses your longing, your hunger for connection or achievement, they may exploit it, consciously or unconsciously. Perhaps they dangle attention, approval, or love, much like a faint glimmer of Andromeda on a clear night, enough to keep you reaching, stretching, hoping. And in those dynamics, your emotional boundaries are tested. You might find yourself justifying, rationalizing, excusing. You chase, you invest, you give more than you should, all in service of an impossible goal. This is where awareness becomes your compass. By studying the universe, by observing its laws and rhythms, you cultivate an internal map of limits and potentials. You begin to notice the difference between genuine connection and seductive mirages. You see the pull of longing as a signal rather than a sentence. And in this awareness, you reclaim agency. You recognize that even if Andromeda is forever out of reach, the space around you, your mind, your heart, your life, is expansive, malleable, and alive. You can chart your own course, guided by curiosity and wisdom rather than desperation. Now, imagine looking at Andromeda not with frustration, but with reverence. Imagine allowing its light, traveling over 4 million years to reach you, to remind you of your own capacity to endure, to witness, to feel deeply without needing to possess. That is where transformation lies. You are not diminished by what you cannot have. You are defined by how you respond to it. Your longing becomes a teacher, your desire a mirror, and your awareness a vessel for growth. And this principle, subtle as it is, extends to every corner of your life. When you face someone or something beyond reach, someone who cannot reciprocate, a goal that cannot be attained, a moment that has passed, you are invited into a form of maturity that few ever experience. You are learning to engage with reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. You are learning to trust yourself, your judgment, and your capacity to find meaning and beauty even in absence. So, when you next look at the night sky and see that soft glow of Andromeda, let it remind you of the universe's patience, its vastness, and its unwavering impartiality. Let it remind you that some journeys, even ones that span billions of years, are not about reaching the destination. They are about learning to navigate distance, to honor limits, and to cultivate the resilience that allows your spirit to soar, even in the face of impossibility. You have within you the same qualities that guide photons across space for billions of years: persistence, endurance, and quiet determination. Your path may be long, uncertain, and marked by longing, but it is yours. And in embracing it fully, without guilt or shame, you find clarity, you find strength, you find yourself. So, take a deep breath and allow yourself to feel both the ache and the awe. Subscribe to this channel and let's continue exploring these truths together. Because understanding the universe is not just about knowledge, it's about understanding yourself, your desires, your limits, and your incredible capacity to thrive within them. Remember this, and carry it with you. The journey matters more than the reach, and the awareness you cultivate along the way is the truest measure of freedom. You are enough, you are capable, and even in the face of the infinite, you are profoundly, unshakably whole.